Thank you, Emmanuel To, for that report. And yes, indeed, we see how that will culminate in the coming days. But now let's go straight to stories making headlines. What is trending on the interwebs? What the digital desk is following up. And with me is Raymond Muthe from the digital desk. And Raymond, yesterday was Valentine's. And who was your mpho and where did you take them?
I was at work, actually. This is why I'm here this morning. I was busy compiling topics for this show. Yeah, but my Valentine's was good. I hope yours was too.
So how was it? How was it? Basically, what are people saying on the internet with regard to Valentine?
Yet again, the cost of living is making an appearance here because the bouquet of flowers that went for 750 shillings last year, this year was going for 1,500 bob. I'm not sure if this is because the market supply and demand mechanics, but definitely the cost of living has affected this and the cost of everything that has gone up. But leaders across the country have celebrated Valentine's in different ways. Those who have spouses have sent very heartfelt messages. But something that's very interesting as well is that Google Trends yesterday had, a day earlier, had compiled a report that showed that Kenyans were more interested in knowing how to stay single, and as well as the Lent period that also began. And there was a lot of memes circulating, is yours Lent or Valentine's? But generally the mood was red, Aseto.
And the men's conference were also doing something in town. What exactly?
Oh, yes. That one also is something that people have been talking about online. There's been talks about how men should and should not behave during Valentine's. Of course, we talk about masculinity. But it's very interesting because people have been sending photos of, even after setting standards online, people are still sending photos of them delivering flowers and sending bouquets to different people. So it's catch-22.
Yeah, and I think as well on matters Valentine's, I saw leaders, members of parliament, especially female members of parliament, are celebrating Valentine's in a different way. Dark Valentine, this is just sending message home, a fight against femicide in the country. And that's an ongoing conversation. Now let's go to issues to do with fuel. Now, fuel has gone down by 1 shilling and Kenyans are having a problem with that. Why?
Well, this is because, again, the cost of living. You remember the price of fuel has been on a record high and it has been at a very steep increase since late last year, and now it has gone down by 1 shilling. It had gone down by the 10 shillings earlier and 5 shillings, sorry. And now Kenyans are asking, is this 1 shilling really significant? Because, the cost of living is a topic in the country right now, and it is affected. Remember, it is affected by the chain effect of increasing the price of petrol. But something that's also interesting is that the petroleum development levy has been increased significantly. Now economists are arguing that this is also counterproductive. But Kenyans on Twitter have all manner of professions. Everybody, when it's about fuel, everybody's an expert. When it's about security, everybody's an expert. But it's a raging debate online, and people are asking, was that 1 shilling really significant? Yeah.
And I think also in that conversation, the EPRA boss, Mr. Kipto, is today expected in Senate. I was summoned by the Senate Energy Committee. But that will be a discussion on the Mradi blast that happened.
Yes.
But we wait to see if this conversation will also come up in that. I think we shall be following that in a subsequent news bulletin. But now let's talk about the Kenya shilling has gained strength against the dollar. What does this mean for the economy and also just the cost of living, Raymond?
What this means is that any dollar-denominated loan is now going to be cheaper to pay off, just to say the least. But now, going down to 153.75 shillings for the Kenyan shilling against the dollar also means that the shilling is strengthening for those people who might not understand the hard economics behind this. But Kenyans have also questioned, is this actually the case or is it managed? There's a conversation about a managed exchange rates earlier on. Even the CS Treasury, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, had raised some concerns about this. But the conversation online is really about whether the stronger shilling will also lower the cost of debt, and what does this mean for the exports-imports market in the country right now. And like I said, Kenyans on Twitter have various manner of expertise and various levels of expertise on everything. And we've seen people coming out in terms of trying to debunk the shilling versus the dollar. There's literally not a lot to talk about in terms of economy and the shilling against the dollar, but we can say that's a good sign so far. At least with also the management of the Eurobond and the repayment, that's a good sign so far.
I think economists should be taking us through this to just shed light on the same. But now let's briefly talk about the guy who got saved and surrendered an AK47, and with that, where does the police come in?
So it was interesting because this AK47 rifle, as it was surrendered in church, actually. And we are used to people being people who are not walking, who are not able to walk, who are not able to speak, and then they leave church speaking. So this particular person in Jesus Winners Church in Meru County surrendered an AK47 rifle after being saved. And the pastor took the weapon to the petrol station. To the police station. I think the fuel debate is still in my head. So the police commander praised the surrender and warned about people having rifles in their unlicensed rifles in their possession. But this was also a topic of concern online, because can you imagine if someone surrendered a rifle in church? How many of those are unsurrendered in the same church that you're sitting in? Could it be the person next to you? So that's a conversation that people are talking about online. But really, it's very interesting to see. We live in very interesting times, clearly. Yeah.
And yes, indeed, we live in very interesting times. But I think it's a good thing that one gun is off the streets, and that means Kenyans get to be safer because one gun is off the street. Thank you very much, Raymond Muthee from the digital desk, as we have that discussion. And yes, we get to see what as well netizens will be saying online. But now let's take a short commercial.